Y'all see that though, right? I know I ain't tripping, bro.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from strange trail cams to UFO leaks that's sure to get you questioning everything you have accepted as real. Ready? Let's dive in. We start today's episode with something classic, trail cam captures. Take a look at these trail cam captures. Do you notice anything weird? Anything weird and unusual at all? No? Well, let's focus on the second image. There's a ghostly being standing on the right side of the man. It's faint, but if you pay attention, you should see it. Seen it now? Good. These images were captured on a trail cam just seconds apart. The man in the image never really noticed there was someone with him. In fact, it took looking at the image a few times to notice that there was someone or something in it other than himself. He uploaded the pic into paranormal groups asking if anyone had experienced anything similar. Different views, opinions, and experiences were shared, but one response that ran through was the fact that this was indeed a paranormal encounter. Some thought it was a ghost, whereas others thought it must be a spirit belonging to the forest. You've seen the image. What do you also think? Whenever individuals remodel or renovate their houses, they find things they never knew existed in their homes because they're typically sealed off. That's exactly what happened with the house you're seeing on your screen.
Mira, andamos demoliendo una casa. Y lo que salió dentro de la pared. No sé si sea murciélago o qué sea.
The house was actually being demolished. It was going smoothly until they discovered this mummified and unidentified creature in the walls of the house. That's definitely not normal, right? The workers were allegedly spooked and paused work for a while. One of them took a picture and uploaded it online, and that's how we also got wind of it. The big question here is, what exactly are we dealing with? The simple truth is, no one truly knows. Some think it's a mummified bat, which sounds a bit logical. When you look at it up close, however, you can tell it has to be something else. Some also suggested it might be a dried devilfish. That was the first I'd ever heard of this term. After doing a bit of research, I understood why they thought it was that. Anyway, you've seen the clip too. What do you think we're dealing with here? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section.
Mira, andamos demoliendo una casa. Y lo que salió dentro de la pared. No sé si sea murciélago o qué sea.
Our next clip comes from Maryland from a woman called Natasha.
What are these? Hold on, there's more. Look at these. What the heck happened out here? What is happening inside my house?
She woke up one night to see these prints on her window. They did look like paw prints, but she didn't live near the countryside. No, she lived in a populated area where they wouldn't expect wild animals to make such prints on her window. Once more, the prints were large, which offset her a bit. Given the fact that it was morning, she mustered the courage to step out of the door, and when she did, she realized there were more prints waiting for her outside. On second thought, not sure those look more like scratches than they do prints. It looked like wherever had left those paw prints on her window had also left scratches on the concrete. She uploaded these looking for answers. Naturally, once these were on the internet, they went viral. Some expressed concern for her wearers, some others were skeptical. Not to necessarily say she was lying, but the facts did not add up. First, some of the scratches in the concrete had 3 claw marks, whereas others had 4 and 5. Secondly, the marks were inconsistent in shape and size. This led to conclude that the marks had been made by a human. But why? Two things. Someone is messing with Natasha, or Natasha made it all up for her 5 minutes of fame. It's a bit dicey since we don't have all the facts, but we can't take a stand. Some in the community, however, insisted that it's got to be real. You've seen the clip. What do you also think?
What are these? Hold on, there's more. Look at these. What the heck happened out here? What is happening outside my house?
Moving away from all that, we step back into the world of trail cams where something eerie has once again been captured. Take a look. What do you see when you look at this clip? Personally, I see a humanoid creature that may just not necessarily be human. This was captured somewhere in 2022 by a man who'd set up his trail camera deep in the woods to capture wildlife. While reviewing the clips, he came across this outlier. Now, at first, he thought it could be a human exploring the place, but this particular part of the woods where he had set up the trail cam was so remote he didn't expect any persons passing there. Let's just say someone did pass there. He had set up his trail cam in such a way that it wouldn't be apparent to anyone unless the person was involved in setting it up. This led to two conclusions. First, a human had coincidentally gone through the place and somehow come across the trail camera and allowed himself to get captured. The second being that this had to be some sort of paranormal being that was aware of what the man had done. After thinking through it and going over the many scenarios, he chose the paranormal option, which led it to being uploaded on our paranormal page. Looking at it, I'm tempted to side with him, but what do you guys think? Speaking of strange captures, take a look at this one.
I'm a security guard, and I'm doing my checks. What the fuck is this?
This clip was uploaded by a woman who ran into an unusual situation while at the post. She was doing her usual rounds at her facility when she noticed that there was what looked like a person, most likely a man, tied to a chair with a cloth over his head. Seeing this supposedly spooked her, and she left the place minding her own business. Now, I get why anyone would mind their own business in a situation like this, but recording your face and putting it online on your personal account isn't exactly minding your own business. It's putting a target on your back. Aaron thinks the whole thing might be a joke or a prank, and quite frankly, I hope so too. But this is the 21st century and anything is possible. What would you have done in her situation, assuming this whole thing is legit?
I'm a security guard, and I'm doing my checks. What the fuck is this?
Anyone who has been an avid follower of this channel knows how much we talk about the Appalachian Mountains. It's therefore no surprise that we were alerted when this was uploaded online. Listen.
What the f***? Get me out of here.
Did you hear that? Maybe it's just me and the city life I'm used to, but that definitely does not sound normal. It sounds like a large beast, but what kind? Nocturnal animals I know sound like that. Many shared this sentiment, which led to the conclusion that it might be Bigfoot. While I want us to run with that, I also realize that it could be me and my team being biased as Bigfoot enthusiasts. You heard the audio and watched the clip as well. What do you think we're dealing with here?
What the f***? Get me out of here.
What do you do when your trail cam captures something like this? personally, I may never go back for it. This was captured by a trailcam that had been set up across a lake by someone who wanted to observe the animals that frequent it. While going through the clips, he came across this image, and naturally it upset and spooked him. In the image, we see what looks like two entities hovering or floating. It's almost like a scene from a horror movie, only this time it's real life and quite possibly dangerous. Paranormal enthusiasts have looked at this image with a lot of excitement, and some think that the individuals in the clip could be spirits of the forest. As much as I love to think myself an expert on the paranormal, even I don't have an answer to this. The good news, however, is you've seen the clip, so what do you think?
You didn't know that you didn't know, part 9. 75% of the mass of a human brain is made up of a substance called myelin. And myelin is made up 100% by cholesterol. Margarine was first invented in 1869, and it didn't gain popularity until the Second World War, when butter and other animal fats were scarce. It grew in popularity in the 50s. Alzheimer's never existed until 1979, and yet now it is one of the leading causes of death in Western societies.
The man you see on your screen is making a strong case about margarine, and I think he may be onto something. He starts off with the brain. About 75% of its mass is made up of myelin, a fatty substance critical for insulating nerve fibers and ensuring smooth communication within the nerve system. And guess what? Cholesterol is a key component of myelin. Your brain needs healthy fats like those found in natural animal products, say butter, to function properly. Now enter margarine, a man-made alternative to butter that gained traction during the mid-20th century, especially after World War II when animal fats were in short supply. If you didn't already know, margarine is made from processed vegetable oils, often hydrogenated, turning them into trans fats. Unlike natural fats, trans fats can disrupt cellular processes and have been linked to numerous health problems, including cognitive decline. Here's the twist. Alzheimer's disease, a condition associated with the degeneration of the brain's myelin and neurons, was almost unheard of before the 1960s. Could it be a coincidence that its rise parallels the widespread adoption of margarine and the decline in natural fat consumption, or are we looking at the unintended consequences of replacing natural fats with artificial ones? If you're not convinced, here's a little experiment. Place 3 items in your garden: a slab of butter, a piece of margarine made without animal fats, and a piece of plastic. Over time, you'll notice that nature embraces butter. It decomposes, is eaten by insects, or is absorbed into the soil. But margarine and plastic, they are ignored. Even microorganisms won't touch margarine, suggesting it's unnatural to them as plastic. Could margarine, with its processed ingredients and inability to integrate with nature, be doing the same in our bodies? By replacing natural fats with an artificial substitute, are we inadvertently starving our brains of the cholesterol it desperately needs? Did the creators of margarine know this? Are they trying to slowly kill us or cause a decline in cognitive ability? I'll let you decide that.
Alzheimer's never existed until 1979, and yet now it is one of the leading causes of death in Western societies.
Culture and religion have always played a significant role in human life, shaping beliefs, traditions, and the way people interpret the world. However, as science continues to advance, it's often providing logical explanations for phenomena that we once considered supernatural or divine. Take this example from India. A statue on a building began leaking water one day, which many locals believed to be a divine sign. Crowds gathered, lining up to touch the statue, pray, and collect the water as a blessing. For them, this was an encounter with the divine. However, upon investigation, it turned out to be a case of a leaking air conditioner pipe, not a miraculous event. The water wasn't holy, but rather a condensation from the AC unit. This incident doesn't necessarily discredit the faith of those who believed, it simply shows how human interpretation often fills in the gaps when science isn't immediately available. What do you think? This footage is a remarkable glimpse into the inner workings of the human immune system. It shows the process of a T cell targeting and destroying a cancer cell. In the video, the T cell, unidentifiable by its yellow pulsing appearance, engages with the larger purple cancer cell. With precision, the T cell strikes the cancer cell multiple times, delivering lethal signals. Over time, you can see the cancer cell shrink and ultimately die, demonstrating the T cell's effectiveness in neutralizing threats. This interaction is a cornerstone of immunotherapy research, where scientists aim to harness and amplify the power of T cells to fight cancer more effectively. It's inspiring to witness how the body's own mechanisms can combat such complex diseases. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know how long this has been coming out of our speakers. I don't know what it's connected to.
Imagine this, a quiet night at home, and then out of nowhere, music starts playing from an unknown speaker installed outside. This was the eerie experience of a man who recently bought a house from the estate of its late owner. One night, the outdoor speaker on the corner of the property began playing a strange, old-fashioned tune. The new owner was baffled, not just by the song, but also by the mystery of how the speaker was still functioning or where it was connected. He hadn't set it up, but no one else would seem to have access. It's tempting to conclude the possibility of a paranormal explanation, especially since the previous owner has passed away. Could it be their way of leaving behind a final jam session, or is there a more earthly explanation? Perhaps it's a timer or an overlooked device the previous owner set up and forgot to disable, or it could even be someone nearby controlling the speaker wirelessly. Either way, what do you think?
Jane's tablet is dead, so it shouldn't be doing anything.
Have you ever heard of the finger of death? No? Well, this is what it looks like. It's a fascinating and rare natural occurrence that happens in the polar regions. When super salty brine from sea ice flows into the ocean, it sinks because it's much denser than the surrounding seawater. As it descends, it freezes the water around it, forming a long, icy tube-like structure. This is the Brinicle, sometimes nicknamed the Finger of Death because it freezes everything in its path, including marine life like starfish and sea urchins. The icy tentacle-like structure creeping down toward the seafloor looks like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's not. It's a perfect example of nature's raw and unrelenting power.
Tell me that is not a person or a face in the fog of the window.
This eerie tale begins with a woman sitting in her room one quiet night when something catches her eye. She looks over at a glass door and freezes. There, pressed against the glass, are faces, distinct outlines of eyes, noses, and mouths staring back at her. The haunting sight chills her to her core. At first glance, it could be dismissed as an optical illusion, but then again, with all the craziness these days, can we ever truly be too careful?
Tell me that is not a person or a face in the fog of the window.
Michael, hurry! Come here.
This chilling footage captures a peculiar moment inside a 121-year-old Victorian house purchased by a couple. The woman, while alone in a room just below the attic, suddenly began to hear strange noises from above. Alarmed, she started filming and called her husband to come and listen. They were certain that no one else was in the house except for themselves and their 2 young daughters. The sounds, however, persisted, muffled movements, faint thuds, and an unsettled creak of the attic floor. Many people who have purchased historic Victorian homes have reported strange happenings from unexplained noises, doors opening and closing on their own, and even shadowy figures. Victorian houses often carry rich histories, and some believe residual energies from the past may linger in their walls. Alternatively, this could be a case of something more mundane but equally unsettling, like squatters or animals that have found their way into the attic. What do you think might be causing the eerie noises?
What is that?
It's definitely falling.
What is that?
It's the same thing.
2 adventurous friends decided to explore an abandoned building in search of ghosts. As they moved through the property, they felt the unsettling sensation of being watched. Turning their cameras towards a wooden structure nearby, they spotted a miniature humanoid figure, its head peeked cautiously from behind the wooden frame, observing them. The small figure's proportions of movements were odd, almost otherworldly. Was it a curious alien, a mischievous spirit, or perhaps something from folklore like a duende or imp? While some argue it's an elaborate hoax, the details in the sighting make it a compelling mystery. What do you think?
What is that?
It's definitely falling.
What is that?
It's the same thing.
It's been shown that if you have houseplants that have been in your life for even a few months, if you put EEGs on those and then you send the person who takes care of those out of the house, send them some distance away, the moment they come within 2,000 meters or 2 kilometers from the home, the plants all perk up. They can feel the person coming from 2 kilometers away.
Plants are living organisms, and while they don't experience emotions like animals or humans, there's growing evidence that they have some level of awareness and responsiveness to their environment. According to this fascinating claim, plants may even display a connection to their caretakers. This man suggests that when you nurture a plant in your home, it becomes so attuned to you that it can sense when you're nearby, even as far as 2 kilometers away. Some researchers and enthusiasts argue that plants respond to stimuli like touch, sound, and changes in their surroundings in a way that mimics sentience. If this idea holds, it sheds a whole new light on how we treat our green companions. Those of you neglecting your plants might want to rethink that. They're more like quiet, leafy pets.
The moment they come within 2,000 meters or 2 kilometers from the home, the plants all perk up. They can feel the person coming from 2 kilometers away.
A hunter recently reviewed his trail camera footage and spotted something unusual. In the image, a deer is calmly feeding with its head down, but above its rear end there's a peculiar object floating in the air. The object has an odd shape. Its color is intriguing, starting with a soft green hue at the top, which fades into an icy blue as it descends. It appears to have a slight glow, making it stand out in the dark. What could this be? Some speculate it could be a lens flare or light artifact caused by the camera's angle or lighting conditions. Others think it might be something more mysterious, perhaps a type of orb, which paranormal enthusiasts often associate with spirits or energy phenomena.
What the Again. It happened again. What the fuck is going on? Yo.
So this guy was out one night when he noticed some orange lights in the night sky. At first, he thought nothing of it, but then remembered he'd been seeing similar posts online about UFOs hiding in plain sight. This prompted him to record and share this clip on TikTok. Once the clip hit the internet, it made its way to our paranormal platform, where many believers think this is the real deal. They have stated that the back of the craft looks like the thrusters of alien ships that are rumored to have. Some are also skeptical, stating it could have been faked to go viral on TikTok. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, but what say you? This eerie moment happened at a wake when a family member stood over the glass-covered casket of the deceased. The footage shows the woman in the casket with her eyes wide open, a haunting sight that caught everyone off guard. Then someone leaned in to take a picture of the deceased. As their hand moved away, the woman's eyes appeared to shut completely. The shift is undeniable, from open eyes to closed in an instant. Could this be real? Some believe it's possible that the angle of the glass or lighting caused an optical illusion, making the eyes seem open or shut depending on how the light hit them. Others think it could be an intentional or unintentional use of a filter, especially if the footage was captured on a smartphone. Modern devices often have AI-enhanced features that can adjust faces even in strange and unintended ways. What do you think?
But when I started walking back, that's when I could see these logs moving.
That tree branch was not there like that.
These logs are huge, and they're crisscrossing them, blocking the path.
This footage comes from a woman who went into the woods at night with her flashlight and camera. Initially, the path seemed clear, but on her way back, she encountered a strange sight. There were large logs crisscrossed on the path she had been taken earlier. These weren't there when she arrived, making her feel uneasy. Trusting her instincts, she quickly left the area. Later, as she reviewed the footage, something chilling caught her attention. Hidden behind a tree was a dark, shadowy figure. Its huge fur-covered legs were partially visible, blending into the darkness of the forest. The woman is convinced that she had an encounter with Bigfoot, and many who have seen the footage agree it's compelling evidence. But skeptics argue it could be a trick of shadow, an animal, or even a prank. What do you think?
It made me nervous because these were big trees and this was a big thing sitting there staring at me.
I was one of those kids that said math was stupid.
His passion for it came unexpectedly, brutally even, after a mugging 8 years ago in Tacoma.
Allow me to introduce you to a truly fascinating individual named Jason Paget. Jason's life took an extraordinary turn after a traumatic incident. He was severely beaten and left with a serious concussion. But when he woke up the next day, something remarkable had happened.
Suddenly, I'm able to basically process more information geometrically, whereas before I couldn't. Before this, I could not draw anything. In fact, it was a joke in our family about Pictionary, how I was the worst at Pictionary.
He had gained an extraordinary gift. Jason found himself able to visualize complex mathematical concepts and patterns, something he'd never been able to do before. This condition is known as savant syndrome, a rare and enigmatic phenomenon in which individuals develop exceptional abilities, often in art, mathematics, or memory, following brain trauma or other neurological changes. What's even more astounding is how rare this condition is, with only about 50 documented cases worldwide. Jason's newfound talent has allowed him to create intricate, mathematically inspired drawings and explore the mysteries of the universe in ways he never imagined. Jason must be lucky. Not everyone takes a blow to the head and comes back smart.
I was one of those kids that said math was stupid.
His passion for it came unexpectedly, brutally even, after a mugging 8 years ago in Tacoma.
A man recently shared 2 eerie photos he took in from a room filled with shelves stacked with various items. In the first image, the room appears normal. A man sits alone at a desk in the center of the room, lit by light coming from what seems to be a phone or computer on the desk. But in the second image, something chilling appears. It's a ghostly figure of a woman standing directly over him. Her attire resembles something from the Victorian era. She had on a long black dress and neatly styled hair from the Victorian era. Her apparition is detailed and clear, making it hard to dismiss as an obvious hoax or digital manipulation. Could this be evidence of a lingering spirit tied to the room's history, or is there another less supernatural explanation for this hauntingly vivid figure? What do you think? This incredible footage comes from an apartment building in China and captures the exact moment lightning struck inside a home. The security camera footage shows a woman in her kitchen when the lightning blasts through a window, hitting a rack of kitchen utensils and scattering them to the ground. Amazingly, the woman was unharmed, though she immediately ran out of the kitchen in shock. From an exterior surveillance angle, you can see the lightning bolt streak through the window. It's a wild and terrifying sight. The sheer power of nature is on full display here, and the fact that she walked away unscathed makes this moment even more unbelievable.
It was completely pitch black. I thought, this is a nightmare, this is not happening.
Tiffany O'Brien experienced a truly bizarre and unsettling incident while traveling on an Air Canada flight. After falling asleep during the journey, she woke up to find herself completely alone on the plane, which had already landed and been parked for the night. None of the flight crew or staff had noticed her, leaving her locked inside the aircraft. In her panic, Tiffany texted a friend to explain what had happened. She managed to navigate the dark cabin and made her way to the cockpit, where she found a flashlight. Using it to signal for help, she eventually caught someone's attention and was safely escorted out of the plane. This oversight raised serious questions about airline procedures and passenger safety. Imagine the shock of waking up to such a scenario. What would you do in her situation?
I'm so scared that I'm going to touch something that's wrong, but I knew I had to do something, and I found the flashlight, and I was so happy. That was like the best moment.
While you think of the best response, take a look at this Trailcam capture and tell me what you see. Hard to do, right? Well, the individual whose Trailcam captured this believes he might have captured a spiritual entity. He's, however, unsure which it is. I must confess that I understand his sentiments, but despite looking at this image critically several times, I'm unable to make it out. You guys have seen the capture. What do you think we're dealing with here?
We only have one Dyson V7 in the house. All the other ones are the newer ones. Like, this is the only older one we have, and that's why it's upstairs. Why do we now have two?
This woman steps out of a bathroom to find her vacuum lying on the floor. Nothing unusual until she picks it up and walks to the charger, only to discover another identical vacuum already there. What makes this even weirder is that they supposedly only have one vacuum, with just a single charger in the house. So where did the extra one come from? Did it just appear out of thin air, or is this some kind of glitch in the Matrix?
Why do we now have two and one charger?
I do not cook for my husband. I only cook for my children. I do not do his laundry. I do not help him pay any bills. His job is to provide for his family, so I am not financially contributing to any of the bills.
I've been crying all morning long. My husband told me that I needed to pack my stuff and get the out the house. I literally have nowhere to go.
In the first clip, the woman openly admits that she doesn't contribute to the household in ways traditionally associated with partnership, leaving her husband to take care of himself entirely despite being the provider. In the second clip, her tears reveal the aftermath. Her husband has reached his limit and asked her to leave. Relationships thrive on mutual effort, respect, and understanding. While every couple can define their own roles and responsibilities, it's essential to both partners to feel supported and valued. When one person feels like they're carrying the weight of the relationship alone, resentment can build, leading to cracks in the foundation. Both partners should openly discuss their needs and find ways to support each other, whether it's through shared chores, emotional connection, or other means of contribution. What do you think? Could this relationship have been saved with better communication and balance?
I've been crying all morning long. My husband told me that I needed to pack my stuff and get the out the house.
能看到全市，还得看吗？你这抖音上放一下。
This is allegedly Korea, and a peculiar and emotional phenomenon has drawn this long line of people to a well said to have the power to reveal loved ones who have passed on. The scene is hauntingly poignant. Individuals take turns peering into the well, their expressions ranging from awe to sorrow. One woman, visibly moved, crouches beside the well crying, presumably after witnessing a vision of a loved one. This raises a fascinating question. Is the well genuinely supernatural, or is there an extraordinary case of the mind's power to create vivid illusions? It's a well-documented thing that belief and suggestion can strongly influence perception. In deeply emotional states, the brain may project images or sensations that align with what we hope or expect to see, particularly in a setting steeped in mystery and collective belief. On the other hand, countless cultures have their own versions or portals to the spiritual realm, rituals, objects, or places believed to connect the living with the dead. Could this be a gateway to something beyond our understanding, or is it a manifestation of the human's need to reconnect, amplified by shared belief? So, someone sent this to us claiming it's a humanoid cryptid captured by his Trailcam. As much as I love the sound of that, this is no Trailcam capture, at least to my video editor. He thinks this is an AI image that was prepped and sent to make it look authentic. The fingers and poor blend of the wolf and human facial features give it away. Perhaps we're the ones being skeptical and unreasonable. What do you guys also think? Have you ever seen how a river freezes up in the winter? This footage shows just how mesmerizing the process can be. At first, the surface of the river looks all sloshy, like a mixture of water and chunks of ice floating around. As temperatures drop further, the process continues. The slush thickens and begins to bind, creating a delicate interlocking pattern that spreads across the surface. Eventually, the entire river hardens into a seamless sheet of ice, its once lively ripples stilled under winter's icy grip. This phenomenon is a fascinating interplay of physics and nature. The freezing begins as the water loses heat to the cold air above. Moving water resists freezing more than still water, which is why rivers often freeze from the edges inward.
What the is that? Nah. Y'all see that though, right? I know I ain't tripping, bro.
A man was out one night when he spotted something extraordinary, a group of glowing orbs in the clouds. These mysterious lights weren't just hovering, they were moving in different formations, almost like they were dancing across the night sky. This was not the work of fireworks, fireflies, or even drones. The movements were too coordinated, too deliberate, and far too strange to be easily explained by conventional means. So what are they? Could this be another sighting of UFOs, silently observing and maneuvering above us? Or is there another explanation for these eerie glowing formations?
What the is that? Nah. Y'all see that though, right? I know I ain't tripping, bro.
At first glance, this really does give off eerie vibes. It looks like a mysterious figure in a robe lurking ominously in a field. Pausing the video at just the right moment only amplifies that unsettling feeling as your mind jumps to conclusions about what or who it could be. But at a second glance, the creepy stalker turns out to be a horse wearing a raincoat, standing innocently in the field. The shape and folds of the raincoat combined with the perspective and lighting make for a perfect optical illusion that messes with your perception. It's funny how our brains are wired to make sense of the unfamiliar by imagining the most dramatic possibilities first. There's no denying that Tesla cars have become a hub for strange and unexplained occurrences, from ghostly apparitions appearing on monitors to peculiar anomalies like this one. A man was driving his Tesla when he noticed something unusual on his car's monitor. The vehicle ahead of him was unidentified as a police car. However, in real life, it was just a normal car. No markings, no lights, nothing to indicate it was a cop's car. Could Tesla's advanced sensors and cameras have some kind of feature capable of detecting undercover police vehicles, or if this was just another bizarre glitch in the system like so many others reported by Tesla owners? If it's intentional, it would certainly be an impressive and unique feature. Either way, it adds to the mystery of these already futuristic cars. Sometimes things aren't always what they seem to be. Take a look at this clip, for instance. The lights were off, but there was light coming in through the windows, and in the middle of the room, there appeared to be the silhouette of a head. You could clearly see the nose and lips, and it looked so real. However, as the person got closer, they realized it was just a stack of caps hanging there. It's amazing how our minds can be tricked by shadows and light, making us see things that aren't really there. This footage is a perfect example of how easily we can be deceived by our perceptions. Have you ever experienced an optical illusion like this? Share your stories in the comments section. While tales of paranormal and mystical creatures can send shivers down our spines, there's something in nature that can be even more terrifying and very real. Take a look at this close-up footage of a tsunami in action. Just look at that. It's a raw force of nature ready to devour and destroy anything in its path. Not only does it look capable of that, but it's just plain scary. Watching the clip made my stomach drop, and I can't imagine how it must have felt to be there. I'm not sure where this was recorded, or when it was recorded, or if it's even real, but this has to be the closest I've seen anyone to be to a tornado. For those unfamiliar with it, a tornado is a rapidly rotating column of air that extends from a thunderstorm to the ground, characterized by a funnel-shaped cloud. These intense atmospheric vortices can produce winds exceeding 300 miles per hour, causing severe damage to everything in their path. Tornadoes form under specific conditions, often involving a clash between warm, moist air and cool, dry air, leading to severe weather systems known as supercells. They are capable of immense destruction due to their powerful winds and unpredictable paths, and are most commonly observed in regions like the central United States, known as Tornado Alley. It's hard to see the rest of it given how close the camera and person recording is, but I just hope they escaped without serious injuries. Can anyone who has experienced any of this confirm if this is real or not? It would help a lot. Still on aliens, someone uploaded this clip on one of our paranormal platforms, claiming it might be an alien creature. Looking at it, it looks the part, but is it legit though? I'll let you decide that. So I was there when Aaron told me he had got a clip that was going to blow my mind. It was a river on fire. Now take a look. Now that does look like a river on fire, right? Something like a scene from hell. Well, more like this shows that hell is possible. But what explanation is there for this? I did some research and it turns out not everything you see on the internet that you don't understand is AI. It turns out this is possible due to a phenomenon where methane gas produced by the decomposition of organic material in riverbeds or wetlands escapes and ignites, causing flames to appear on the water's surface. This can happen naturally or due to human activities like drilling, which can release trapped methane. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas and its release contributes to climate change. When it escapes from water bodies, it can create visually striking, without often hazardous, river fire events. These incidents highlight the complex interactions between natural ecosystems and the impact of human activities on environmental processes. This was allegedly recorded in Kazakhstan. Have you ever been fascinated by jellyfish? I know I have, but not as much as I was when I saw this clip. Beautiful, isn't it? I must confess that when I saw this, I was very sure that it was some AI or digital creation, but after a bit of research and a little scolding from Julius for jumping to conclusions without a lot of research, I believe I finally figured out what this is. Behold, the deep-sea firework jellyfish, also known as Halitriphis masi. For those like me who aren't familiar with it, the deep-sea firework jellyfish is a stunning marine creature that inhabits the abyssal depths of the ocean, often found at depths exceeding 4,000 feet. This elusive species was first discovered in the eastern Pacific Ocean and has since captivated scientists and deep-sea explorers alike with its bioluminescent display. The jellyfish's name derives from its remarkable ability to emit a vibrant array of lights resembling a fireworks show. Its translucent body, adorned with radiant, pulsating colors, can burst into an intricate display of blues, purples, and gold when disturbed or during certain movements. This spectacular light show is thought to play a role in both predator deterrence and attracting prey in the perpetual darkness of its deep-sea habitat. Its tendencies are used both for locomotion and for capturing food, which primarily consists of smaller planktonic organisms. I'm tempted to add more information, such as how the jellyfish's unique light-emitting capabilities are controlled by specialized cells called photocytes, but I think this is enough. Don't you agree? As if that wasn't strange enough, at least for me, we've got this clip too. The clip starts off by showing a living area, then we see the dog move ahead to inspect something. After a few seconds, it retreats, and we don't know why. However, if you pay attention to the clip, you noticed a shadow attempting to hit the dog where it stood. Seeing it, the dog retreats to avoid getting hit. That's definitely not normal, right? This had myself and the whole team wondering what could have taken a shadow form and attempted to hit the dog for no reason. Some members of the team thought it was a shadow creature, while others thought it had to be a spirit. We kept brainstorming and analyzing the clip, trying to nail down the definite cause of the dog's behavior. After an hour, Julius, our science whiz, walks in, looks at the clip, then says it's fake, and then goes out again. I chase after him to ask why, and he states that the shadow creature looks like a hand. Someone could have been standing off camera and creating the shadows to scare the dog. I must say I didn't like this explanation very much because it didn't make us look smart at all. I laughed at Julius and told him it was not possible, but came back to evaluate my life. Guys, take a look at the clip and let us know. Do you think Julius is right, or are we right to think there's an entity there? Standing by for your feedback. Just before you start wondering what we're looking at here, you should know that the helicopter is carrying an object called the electromagnetic surveying system. They're used for geophysical exploration and are employed in various industries, including mineral exploration to map subsurface geological features by measuring electromagnetic responses. While these systems are primarily used for geological purposes, there have been instances where unconventional interpretations of electromagnetic anomalies have led to speculative theories, including the suggestions of extraterrestrial activity like finding UFOs. So what's this one doing out there? Looking for an alien craft? Oh my goodness, take a look at this. While on a boat ride in the ocean, this person was met by a huge shark. The killer fish swam onto the boat and circled back, swimming around the boat. Luckily, the person on the boat was very still and didn't catch the attention of the creature. But from the noise the person was making, you can tell that he was freaked out. Contrary to the initial fear of a great white shark, it turns out to be a basking shark, a relief for anyone fearing a more dangerous encounter. Basking sharks are known for their immense size, often mistaken for more aggressive species due to their appearance. But they're filter feeders, mainly eating plankton and small fish by swimming with their mouths wide open. In moments like these, the thin line between awe and fear is palpable. The ocean, with its mysteries and wonders, can evoke a mix of emotions. Have you ever had a close encounter with marine life? And if so, how did it leave you feeling? Tell us in the comment section. Imagine going to a restaurant to have a meal and the fresh meat served to you starts moving and falls on the ground like this. It's like a scene straight out of a horror movie, making you question what exactly is on your plate. Some say it could be muscle memory causing the movement, where residual nerve activity in the meat causes it to twitch, but that doesn't make it any less creepy. Others state that it's a sign that the meat is exceptionally fresh, and while that sounds nice, it's not exactly comforting when the meat is wriggling on your plate. What do you think though? Would you have gone ahead to cook the meat? Also, are there any of you with a similar experience? Let us know how you handled it in the comments section. We're genuinely curious. What do you see? I'm not the only one who finds it hard to subscribe, right? Initially, I thought I was looking at a camel when the clip started, but as the clip progressed and the one filming got closer, I realized that the creature was too small and maybe docile to be a camel. I then waited for whatever it was to open its eyes, but after a few seconds, I realized that the part of the head I thought the eyes would be had nothing there. In fact, it looks like the eyes and face would be around the area I expected the nose to be. Do you see it, or am I losing it? Anyway, after watching the clip multiple times and staring for minutes, I'm unable to make out what the creature is. Perhaps I've looked at so many paranormal clips that I struggle with the normal now. Can you guys help? If this is an obvious one, please be kind to me in the comments section below because I can't make it out. If it's not something usual, then what do you guys think we're dealing with here? I'll be reading the comments. In this next clip, a man explains something rather interesting yet disturbing about the eggs we eat, especially in the US.
Story about chicken eggs that will show you exactly how corrupt the food industry is and how much the chemical industry influences it for profit. When eggs are produced in the United States, there's a sanitizer that's sprayed on them for the purpose of preventing you from getting salmonella poisoning and bacteria entering the egg, eventually spoiling it. Meanwhile, when a natural egg is produced, it has something on the outside called a bloom. This is why when you go to Europe, you see that eggs are actually not refrigerated. They're kept outside, whether in the store or at home. Why? Because the bloom protects the egg from having salmonella or bacteria enter the egg and spoiling it. So the egg already came with a natural defense against the thing that the chemicals are being sprayed on it to protect it against. The chemicals are absolutely unnecessary. Proof of it? Go to Portugal today and buy eggs from a shelf instead of a refrigerator and your health will be just fine. Seek out pasture-raised organic eggs. You don't need the industrial toxins, and make sure you share this video with everyone you know so they can also do the same thing.
Did you hear that? Eggs have a natural protective layer known as the bloom that prevents the entry of bacteria and other harmful substances. This protective layer eliminates the need for chemical sprays to be applied to eggs. So what could this mean? Are the eggs in the US not natural eggs, hence the need to be given artificial protection, or are they doing all this just for profit? I mean, if the eggs can be preserved longer, they can earn a bit more from exporting to other places. Either way, it doesn't change the fact that these are questionable practices. Eclipses are a natural phenomenon that occurs annually, but in different locations around the world. Despite being a regular occurrence, people never fail to be mesmerized by it. However, many people have reported experiencing strange things during an eclipse. For instance, a woman once noticed some peculiar-looking lights on the ground in her house during an eclipse. She was not alone. Several individuals observed glowing circles in the ground during an eclipse. One of them even commented on the post and stated that they also saw these patterns last year on the 23rd of October during an eclipse. Everyone attributed this to mysterious forces surrounding the eclipse, but there was one particular comment that seemed logical. When I saw this, I also thought the same, that there was perhaps a structure at the location or even spaces between the leaves of a tree that were causing this. While this seems logical, there's no way to actually prove it. There's that slim chance that the poster might be right in their assertion after all. What's a classified captures episode without a little mystery solving? Yep, that's right. Up next is our bonus segment. Can you guys identify what's on your screen? Remember, I'm not just looking for a name. I would want you to add a genuine fact. I'll be picking the earliest answer with the most interesting fact. May the fastest human, cryptid, or alien win. And yes, we know you non-humans watching our channel as well. We've got our eyes on you. But seriously, all the best. I love reading your comments. Animals are believed to be much more sensitive when compared to humans. Some believe that animals exhibit strange behaviors when they sense danger or something alarming. In this footage, someone noticed something strange with a school of fish. The red fish were all moving in a spiral pattern in the water. They were evenly spaced and moved at a hauntingly slow pace. Fish often display such coordinated movements when they feel threatened. This spiral pattern could be a defense mechanism, an attempt to confuse predators, or a response to environmental changes. Some believe it could also be related to shifts in water conditions or even an impending natural event. What do you think is causing this eerie fish behavior? Could it be a sign of something bigger happening underwater, or is it just another fascinating aspect of animal behavior? You know what? Before you conclude, take a look at this one too.
I don't know. No, that's not a fun. I'm gonna be hiding because that's the size of a.
In our digging, we came across this footage that's also apparently from Nevada, Las Vegas, to be precise. In the clip, we see something move at great speed in the sky. Looking at it, it looks like a spaceship. Before you disregard this video as another hoax, take a look at the other elements in the clip. We got a police car on the left, and the clip seems to have come from a police body cam. This adds a level of authenticity to the whole thing. Many comments on the original post were like this. The individuals that have been blurred out of the clip apparently reported to the police first about strange things happening and an alien possibly being around. In the world I live in, you may have received a warning from the police because that's just ridiculous, but these guys actually listened. This has earned the praise of the online community. Question now on everyone's mind is, what was that? If they are aliens, why are they in Nevada? Are they in bed with the government? Or do we have something they want, something we took from them? Share your thoughts in the comments section. A group of men were on a hiking expedition in a dense forest when they came across. We kick off today's episode with something rather alien. This clip was sent in from Miami a few weeks ago, and naturally, we have been trying to break it down and understand it. In the clip, we see an orange light in the sky, surrounded by lots of clouds. Right off the bat, if you're into UFOs and love things alien, you might suspect this is one. That's one of the easiest ways to explain sights like this. A number of individuals who saw the post stated that they have had similar experiences in other states and places. The user, for instance, stated his or her dad saw something similar around the same time the original post was made. The difference, however, is that they saw theirs in San Antonio. There's no way to verify this, so we'll have to take it with a grain of salt. A number of individuals who saw the post also believed it was real. Take these comments, for instance. While many thought this was really an alien ship sighting, a number of individuals thought otherwise. They believed there had to be a logical explanation for the whole thing. This user, for instance, argued it might be a drone, but that's pretty high, and I'm not sure we have a lot of drones that can get so high and be fitted with strong and powerful lights. A number of individuals also thought it might be a rocket launch. One user, however, pointed out that we might be dealing with a helicopter instead. I can see why and how each of these individuals came to their conclusions. Without more evidence, however, it's difficult to state who is right. What do you guys personally think of the clip? We'd like to hear your thoughts. Speaking of hoaxes, it's becoming increasingly easy to generate images and footage that looks very realistic but are too absurd to be true. Take a look at this next one, for instance. Someone was allegedly recording a clip on a night out when this happened. A strange-looking creature came from behind and ran away toward the rails. This bizarre creature looked like the lower torso of a deer running on two legs. This isn't the first time we've seen such baffling footage. With advances in technology, it's becoming increasingly difficult to distinguish between what's real and what's fabricated. Remember the infamous Bigfoot video, or the countless UFO sightings that turned out to be drones or clever camera work? The internet is full of these strange and often creepy videos, leaving us questioning the nature of reality. While some people immediately call out these clips as hoaxes, others believe there might be some truth hidden behind the eerie visuals. Looking at this, I didn't need Julius or Aaron to confirm or disprove anything. I concluded it was a hoax, but you guys tell me what you think. Imagine you're out there doing your job when something suddenly squeals, startling you. You pause to find out what it is, and it's this guy. Quick question, what exactly is that? Well, I don't know. It doesn't look like any land animals we know, and try as I may, it didn't come up in the numerous searches I did, which is odd since it was basically hiding in the soil. I thought of it being a mole, but I don't know. Anyway, can you guys help? Is this a real animal in our world, or should I start looking to extraterrestrial origins for an explanation? Talk about a real-life plot twist. Here's the lowdown on an unexpected scene. A woman lying unconscious on the ground, catching the attention of a concerned passerby. He quickly rushed to check up on her, but as he got closer, he noticed that she lay on the ground unconscious. She didn't even look like she was breathing. The concerned man yelled out to her until she woke up all of a sudden.
What? Hey, baby, you okay? Hey, what the? Hey, mama, you need to call her. Mama, call her. You all right? You good?
You okay?
You straight? Huh?
She said she was okay and looked pretty confused. Now, spectators suggest that it might be a glitch in the Matrix, but hold on to your conspiracy theories. It turns out there's a more grounded explanation. Our damsel in distress had a seizure and took an unexpected tumble from her bicycle. We really hope that she's okay now. Turns out everything is a glitch in the Matrix. Who knew? In this next footage taken in the UK, someone noticed this strange craft in the night sky. The lights on the craft showed the triangular shape of the craft as it soared through the sky. Naturally, this strange craft has led to many speculations on what we could be dealing with. As people guess and wonder, different opinions come out of the shadows. Some say the craft is from outer space, calling it a UFO. On the other hand, doubters suggest a different story. They think the mysterious vehicle might be something human-made, using otherworldly technology. Both theories seem almost true, but which do you think it is? Something unknown or a result of human innovation? A horse breeder went to the stables one morning and stumbled upon a surprising sight. The horse was standing on its hind legs with its front limbs on the wall in front of it. Now that's unusual horse behavior. Not knowing what it meant and not wanting to ask Julius, I went through the comments from the original post, and most people suggested that the horse was trying to break free from the stable. It seemed tired of the confinement, possibly feeling trapped or stressed in its environment. Others offered a different perspective, saying it was just stretching. Horses sometimes engage in behaviors that might look strange to us but are quite normal for them. Stretching could be a way for a horse to relieve muscle tension or simply a playful act. Another possibility is that the horse is displaying signs of boredom or frustration. Horses, like many animals, need mental and physical stimulation. If they're confined for too long without enough exercise or interaction, they might resort to unusual behaviors. But what do you think this could be? Could it be a sign of distress, curiosity, or just a simple stretch? There's also the possibility of wanting to mate, but that's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? My money is definitely on a prison break. A man wandering through the woods encountered something that left him both startled and intrigued. Ahead of him, a small creature was crawling uphill. At first, it walked on two legs with a humanoid gait, but soon dropped to all fours and quickly vanished from sight. The creature's appearance and behavior have sparked a whirlwind of questions. It bore a striking resemblance to the goblins of folklore, small, humanoid, and elusive. The way it moved, with a blend of agility and stealth, the creature looks like a goblin. Goblins are often depicted as mischievous and elusive, dwelling in hidden places and rarely seen by humans. The sudden appearance and quick disappearance of this elusive creature align with such folklore. Now the big question is this really real, or is someone just messing with us using CGI? I'll let you guys decide that. One night during a storm, a man took out his camera just in time to capture the electrifying moment when lightning strikes. As the darkness of the night was lit up by the strike, we noticed something. There was a strange humanoid creature. It looked much bigger than a human, but the weirdest part of the situation was that the lightning had hit the said creature and the creature burned into ashes and vanished. This might seem like something strange out of a supernatural thriller, but take a good look at the footage again. Did you see that? Some folks are sold on the idea that it's a bona fide demon getting zapped by the forces of nature, while others are throwing around theories of optical illusions or camera glitches. What's your take on it? Is it a stormy encounter with the supernatural or just a quirky play of light and shadows? Share your thoughts in the comments section. This next footage is something to consider as a conspiracy.
What the absolute fuck is it?
While on patrol, a police officer stopped by the woods when he heard this strange sound coming from within. The sound was indescribable and unlike any sound of a creature, but the depth of the sound indicated that whatever or whoever was making the sound must be pretty big. The policeman is convinced that the vocalizations are coming from a Bigfoot, and it's not so surprising. Bigfoot has been a talk in the paranormal community for years, and sounds like this have often been attributed to this enigmatic creature. So could it be the hairy, humanoid giant of the wilderness making those spine-tingling sounds, or is it just another puzzle in the grand tapestry of the unknown? Take a look at this footage and put yourself in this situation. You're running from someone and you come across a metal fence. In a desperate move, you free jump over the wall by boosting yourself using the fence. Now your chaser is on the other side of the fence and you think you have the upper hand. So what do? You stand there, staring at your chaser from the other side, feeling a sense of relief and teasing him a little. But then all of a sudden, he simply opens the door on the fence and steps through. The fence wasn't locked at all. What would your next move be in this situation? Would you say it's best that dinosaurs no longer exist? Considering what we know about them, humans might not exist for long if these massive creatures came out of extinction. I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking when I came across this footage. In the video, we see a large creature lying lifeless on the ground. It has a huge tail, and as the camera gets closer, you realize that what we're looking at is a dragon. Take a look at the horns and the razor-sharp teeth in its slightly open mouth. What is puzzling is the presence of people in protective gear who are trying to touch the creature. Is this real footage of a mythical fire-breathing beast, or could it just be an elaborate art project or special effects? It's hard to say because I can't find any info on this anywhere, but let's hear your thoughts. I know many of you watching today's episode may have heard of Area 51 and seen it a lot in alien movies and documentaries. But did you know there's an actual US base in Nevada called Area 51? If you didn't know, Area 51 is a highly classified United States Air Force facility located in the southern portion of Nevada, USA. Officially known as Groom Lake, it's situated within the Nevada Test and Training Range and is part of the larger Nellis Air Force Base complex. The area's exact purpose and activities are classified, which has led to many theories you may have heard concerning aliens. Take a look at this clip, for instance.
No, they're still there. I'm getting it.
There appears to be what looks like a set of lights that just disappear in the clouds. The man recording the clip can be heard saying they are still there. This is because he believed he had seen an alien spaceship, and just before he could stop recording, it started to go invisible until it was barely visible. The only thing he could catch on his camera was the lights in the clip before everything went away. He believes the craft is camouflaged in some way, but still up there. I know clips like this are hard to believe, but this man and his clip wouldn't be the first strange thing to come out of Area 51. It's even surprising that he was able to post this without going missing, because that's something that's been known to happen to whistleblowers. But do share your thoughts with me in the comments section.
No, they're still there. I'm getting it.
Humans have always desired and been fascinated with the supernatural. In many cultures, including ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, and Rome, there were beliefs in the existence of individuals who possessed magical powers both for good and evil. Practices such as necromancy, communication with the dead, and divination, foretelling the future, and curses were often associated with black magic. While times have changed, it looks like the fascination with the supernatural didn't stop there. No, somehow some have allegedly found a way to integrate it into technology.
Able to simply receive a photo of someone's face and treat them of diseases with this?
Yes, yes. Now, to be clear, this is not Newtonian physics. This is a new branch of physics. I work with people around the world by way of an emailed photograph. My photograph has a signature or a force field attached to it. If I were to place my photograph inside this instrument, the instrument would understand my force field and direct energy into my force field. Now, it's not a biological process. It's an energetic process working through the different dimension of scalar energy. It's not electromagnetic energy.
The man on your screen is an example. He actually believes he's able to cure individuals just by using their image. He, however, attributes it to science and throws around words like quantum and physics, which makes it seem like he knows what he's talking about. He also talks about scalar energy and bilocation, which he associates, which according to him are essential for what he does. According to him, his predecessor worked with the Apollo 11 team using just their images. I did some digging around on the Apollo bit and didn't find any information, but just imagine such technology was real. The applications are endless. We could hear people in all sorts of remote places without being there. It'll change the medical industry for good. Unfortunately, not many are buying what the man is selling. They believe he's just misleading people. Take a look at these comments. Despite the negative comments, there are some who believe this is real and defending the post. While my natural mind may be tempted to dispel this, we live in a very mysterious world we have yet to understand. Perhaps this is an actual possibility, but do tell me what you think.
My predecessor was working with the Apollo 11 astronauts. That photograph may have been a few months old, but it still reported the exact biorhythms of the astronauts while they are on the moon, 250,000 miles away.
Like that wasn't strange enough, someone witnessed another strange situation during a solar eclipse in October 2023. For those who haven't experienced it, a solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the Sun, blocking all or part of the Sun's light. In the video, there appears to be three heavenly bodies visible. The first one is a brighter sphere in front, followed by a darker one behind it, and then another brighter sphere behind the dark one. This made the one who recorded the clip believe there was another moon rising. Someone in the original post also saw something similar and shared it. If you know anything about astronomy or our celestial bodies, you know the Earth is supposed to have just one moon. This begs the question, where from the third celestial body? Naturally, this post generated a lot of conspiracies. Some even thought this was a sign that the aliens were behind this. Some also thought that the spirit world and the physical world became connected during these eclipses. One user, however, stated it was not any of these. It's the reflection of the camera lens, he said. We didn't have our cameras out to film during the eclipse, but we know that's definitely possible. The question now is, which of these reasons is the most accurate? Share your thoughts. This mysterious footage first surfaced back in 2014, showing satellite imagery of a plane flying high in the sky when something unusual occurred. Out of nowhere, a glowing orb appeared circling around the plane. Then a second orb emerged, followed by a third. The three orbs moved in strange, almost choreographed formations around the plane, creating an eerie and perplexing scene. These objects seemed to be closely followed the aircraft, moving with precision yet in an unpredictable pattern. The clip ends before revealing the orbs' true intentions or whether they eventually disappeared. Many who've seen the footage are left wondering, what are these orbs? Were they some kind of advanced technology? natural phenomena, or something more otherworldly? And then there are a few asking the more important questions. Who filmed this? Dolphins are undeniably intelligent creatures, and their remarkable cognitive abilities have fascinated scientists for years. What's even more intriguing is the similarity between developing dolphin embryos and human embryos. At the earliest stages of development, dolphin embryos bear a striking resemblance to human embryos, with similar structures before their features diverge. As the dolphin embryos grow, it gradually takes on its distinct aquatic form, developing fins and other adaptations for life in water, while human embryos continue along the path that defies terrestrial mammals. It's fascinating to consider that such a similarity could point to a deeper biological link, potentially explaining why dolphins exhibit traits like problem-solving, social bonding, and even playfulness, which are often associated with human intelligence. Truly fascinating. And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go with our clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't, well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.